Greetings, my friends. This is Celeria Rosencreux, and on this episode of the Chronological Quran, episode 19, we shall be exploring the rebuttal, or I should say, the very irritated response from Muhammad, which came following pagans mocking him as the Quran revealed that there were only 19 angels in hell guarding all of the souls in there, and presumably performing the torture, despite the fact that it contained all of the evildoers from the beginning of mankind up to that point. Understandable mockery, but anyway, we'll see exactly what the text holds. Starting with Ayah 31, we have it saying, "We have appointed only angels as wardens of the fire, and we have made their number only as a test for the disbelievers, so that the people of the book will be certain, and the believers will increase in faith. And neither the people of the book nor the believers will have any doubt. And so that those with sickness in their hearts and the disbelievers will argue, what does Allah mean by such a number? In this way Allah leads whoever He wills to stray, and guides whomever He wills. And none know the forces of your Lord except He. This is only a reminder to humanity." Now, this verse is a funny one. It says Allah has appointed only angels as wardens of hell, and that He purposefully keeps the number low, so that He can prompt unbelievers to sin by mocking it, and thereby implicitly grow the number of people who would occupy hell as a result. What kind of dirtbag behavior is that? Wouldn't want to be one of those angels, certainly. Your boss is understaffing on purpose to send an ideological message, and not only that, he's doing it in such a way as to multiply the workload you have to deal with further? Heck, I wouldn't want to live in a world where that is true, given the dirtbag in question is supposed to be its creator. What absolutely sickening malevolence. Before moving on, though, we should note that this verse is separated from the previous 19 in Ibn Kathir. I was initially confused by this, but upon reading it thoroughly, I've come to recognize that it must have been because it was clearly revealed later, as a reaction to how people took the rant that had just preceded it in the surah. People mocked, and so Muhammad and Allah warned them that they would go to hell for their mockery, and that the number was specifically chosen as one of the many ways that Allah goes out of His way to lead people astray or guide them properly at His whim. What a wonderful rebuttal that was. I'm sure those pagan idiots were quite terrified and shook in their boots after seeing they'd triggered the Prophet's trap card. Oh, yes. And he says Christians and Jews will back him up on this one. That makes this even funnier. So we then continue on, and we reach Ayah 32. "Nay, by the moon!" And it's worth noting that the Arabs considered the moon to be more important than the sun, and the polytheists worshipped it as their chief deity, making this particular turn of phrase especially awkward if you're trying to fight polytheism. "And the night as it retreats, and the dawn as it breaks. Surely hell is one of the mightiest signs, the greatest portents that Allah provides as a warning to humanity, both to those of you who will advance and to those of you who will remain behind." Thus, after that broken Arabic, which the translators can barely hold together, we reach the end of the section recommended by Tafsir Ibn Kathir once more. By the moon, the withdrawing night, and the dawning day, that was some of the least compelling verbiage I have seen from the Quran. That said, it does continue to show how Allah and Muhammad are willing to get theatrical when there are objections presented to their funny little creative writing project. And it certainly did answer a potential question that was left open with the previous passage by claiming that the number that Allah gave for the gods of hell was rhetorically motivated. I suppose if I'm being honest, that might encourage you to potentially choose not to take this literally, which in turn makes the matter somewhat less farcical. Though it certainly doesn't make Allah look good when he feels compelled to openly admit he's trying to deceive people and lead them into hellfire with his choices in producing the Quran. What a prick. What a prick. What a prick. On a tangentially related matter, tell me, why does anyone take this sort of monstrous claim to godhood seriously again? These kinds of behavior really do not make him seem emotionally mature enough to begin to trust him, let alone to trust him enough to wager my eternal soul on him being the winner of the cosmic horse race, so to speak. I just don't understand it outside of the fact that children are indoctrinated into belief without studying the Quran seriously. Adults have to worry about being murdered by the community or the state if they don't comply with the religion's strictures. And the fact that the generation that came first was promised glory, slaves, wealth, and even better in paradise. I seem to have answered my own question. Fear, vice, and ignorance. I suppose those aren't properly aligned with a religion that is supposed to be representing the truth, but it certainly does explain the matter well enough in general. Anyway, sorry for rambling. It really is inappropriate for someone who's supposed to be waiting to see these sorts of things as he reads, rather than bringing the foreknowledge he already had upon beginning this series to the table. Regardless, this has been Celeria Rosencreutz, and I thank you for once more joining me here. Until next, my words greet your ears farewell. And God bless you all.